Write a formula for the function g of x obtained when the graph of f of x equals the absolute value of x is shifted down 8 units and to the right 14. Okay. That was a horrible line. Let's try that again. That's still bad. All right. The original function, which is the f of x equals the absolute value of x. Do I have an orange pen? There's orange. There we go. Okay, that function is going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I were to make a table of values for this, let's just say I went -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Y, remember y is really f of x, and f of x is the absolute value of x. So for this first one, the absolute value of -2, that would be +2. The absolute value of -1 would be +1. The absolute value of 0 is 0. The absolute value of 1 is 1. And the absolute value of 2 is 2. Absolute value is literally a distance. And distance is always positive. It's just how far away from 0 are you on a number line. So here's 0. And whether you're 1, 2, 3 to the right or 1, 2, 3 to the left, the distance, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's just how far you are. The sign is a directional thing, but absolute value, the absolute value of -3 is 3. The absolute value of +3 is 3. You are 3 units away from 0, just in opposite directions. So it's always a positive answer. Okay, so if I were to graph this, -2, +2 is here. -1, +1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2. It is actually the graph of a V, okay? Absolute values are V's. Now, if you're going to shift this, and it says shift this, let me pick another color, green. If you're going to shift it down 8 units, then every one of these points has to go down 8 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this goes down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This point goes down to here. This point goes down to there. This point goes down to here. And this point goes down to there. So now it's just shifted down 8. All right. When that happens, and they've already got the g of x here, that means you still have the absolute value of x, but you have subtracted 8 from every single y value. So for example, this one right here, it's still below the -2, but now it's across from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't do that right. Sorry. It goes down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's supposed to be right here. See, this is what happens when you don't use graph paper. Nothing comes out perfect. But this should be across from -6, because 2 minus 8 is -6. I'm just laughing at my horrific drawing. Sorry. But anyway, you're just subtracting 8 from every single y coordinate. So you just put a -8 behind the absolute value of x. And then it says, let's see, you're going to shift it down 8 units, and then you're going to shift it to the, we're going to shift it to the right 14 units. Okay, now this one's a little more difficult. When you shift it to the right, it's now going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. It's going to go from here to here. So my V is going to be over here now. Every single point will just shift to the right 14 units. However, mathematically, in order for that to happen, like this point right now has the coordinates of x is negative 14, or not negative 14, April. X is 14 and y is negative 8. Okay, that's the new bottom point. So in order to get a positive 14, remember that the starting point, which was right, let me do this one in a blue, which was right here. That point had the coordinates of 0, 0. It has now changed from 0 to 14, okay? In order to get it to move to the right, you actually have to put a minus 14 inside your absolute value. So what I really need is the absolute value of x minus 14 and then minus 8. Because in order to get a y coordinate of negative 8, remember you have to plug and chug into this. So I've got this g of x is equal to this ordered pair right here, 14, negative 8. In order to get the negative 8, this thing has to ultimately become a 0. So that then you have 0 minus 8, which will equal the negative 8, which is the y coordinate that goes with that 14. If that makes any sense. When you put 14 right here, 14 minus 14 gives you 0. A lot of people think you need to put x plus 14 because you move to the right. I mean, logically it makes sense, but 14 plus 14 would be 28. The absolute value of 28 is 28, and 28 minus 28 is 20. It's supposed to be a negative 8. You can see from the graph that this point right here has coordinates of 14, negative 8. So you can't put a plus 14 in there behind the x. It's got to be a minus 14. In order for that to come out to be a 0, so that when you subtract the 8, you get that negative 8 for the y coordinate. So my final answer here has to be the absolute value of x minus 14 and then a minus 8. When you're shifting up or down, you just add to go up and subtract to go down. Easy peasy. And that goes on the outside of the absolute value. When you're inside, or when you're shifting left or right, you actually put that inside the absolute value, because when you shift left or right, you're moving along the x-axis, so it has to go with the x. And then you do the opposite of what it's saying. If you're going to the right, you would subtract the number. If you're going to the left, you would add the number. And then this says, if you use text mode, you have 2 ways to answer. Let me just jump back to Mobius. If you use the text mode in Mobius where the answer box is 1 line tall, then type in ABS and then parentheses. I don't like doing that if I have the option to make it look like an actual equation. So I clicked on the sigma symbol, and then I have a big box, not a single line. It says if you use the symbol mode, which is what I'm doing right now, I can click in my calculator or my keyboard, shift that x minus 14, shift, and then minus 8. And how did I do? Got it right. There you go. I like that better.